Hello and welcome back to Pharma E-Class. I am Anindya Goswami and today we will discuss size separation, its basic theory as well as the equipment. This chapter we will find in the unit 1, that is chapter 3rd. So in size separation we are going to study the objectives, applications and mechanisms of size separation, official standards of powders, sieves, size separation principles, construction, working, merits and demerits of sieve shaker, cyclone separator, air separator, bag filters and elutriation tanks. So let us first define what is size separation is. Size separation, or it is sometimes called as classification, is a process in which particles of desired size are separated from other fractions. The Indian Pharmacopoeia gives two basic statements regarding with the official grades of pharmaceutical powders. The first statement states that it is required that when a powder is described by a number, all particles must pass through that particular sieve number. Suppose if we are saying the entire batch of powder, the entire volume of powder is being passing fully through sieve number 120, it is implied by the official standards of sieves as well as by the Indian Pharmacopoeia that those powders will be graded as very fine powder. Secondly, when a vegetative drug is ground and shifted, none must be rejected. Why? This is because the vegetable drug consists of a variety of different degrees of hardness, so that softer tissues will be grounded first and the tailings, that is the remainings which is obtained by shifting, will contain a higher proportion of different types of harder tissues. If tailings are discarded, then during the grounding and shifting, a high proportion of active constituents might be left. For that purpose, for the size separation of vegetative drugs, nothing shifting, and in the shifting part, grounding and shifting part, none must be rejected. So these are the two official statements which is being given by Indian Pharmacopoeia with regard to the sizes or the official grades of pharmaceutical powders. Yes, this is the official grade of powders as given by IP. Now IP specifies these 5 grades of powders and the number of sieves through which the entire, remember this, the entire particles must pass. So this is the grade of the powder and this is the sieve number through which all particles must pass. So for a course to grade a powder as coarse, we have to pass the entire batch through sieve number 10. If the particle is designated as moderately coarse, it means that the entire particles or the sieve through which the particles, all particles have passed, that is sieve number 22. Now if it is designated as moderately fine, then the sieve number will be 44. If it is a fine powder, then all particles must have passed through sieve number 85. And as I have mentioned earlier, if we designate a powder as a very fine grade of powder, then it must pass through, the all particles must pass through sieve number 120. Another grade of powder is also given where the IP specifies that a second smaller sizes of sieves for the coarser powder, but states that not more than 40% of the solid must pass. So in this case the IP has given it has expanded its criteria. So it is not only saying about the sieves through which all particles must pass as mentioned in the previous slide, but it is also mentioning about the sieves through which not more than 40% of the volume of the powder must pass. So for a coarse powder, as we have already known, it must pass fully through sieve number 10 and at least 40%, not more than 40% particles must pass through sieve number 44. Whereas for moderately coarse, this is number 22, that is through sieve number 22 all particles must pass, and through sieve number 60 at least not more than 40% of particles should pass. For in terms of moderately fine powder, this is the sieve number 44, whereas in that side that is the sieve number 85. But for the lower to higher grade, that is to finer grades, that is for a fine powder, it is specified that it must pass, all particles must pass through sieve number 85, but it is not specified as how much up to 44% of the particles pass. So that what is the sieve number, this is not specified. That is exactly the case for very fine powders, where it is specified that through sieve number 120 all particles must pass, but it is not specified that through which sieve not more than 40% powder particles must or can pass. So these are the basic calibration of sieves generally, which we use routinely in our laboratories. So sieves are for test purposes are the subjects of British standards. IB gives us the specifications of the powders, but the sieves, they are being designed according to the British standards. Look at the sieve, look at the diagram. So we can imagine this as a wire mesh. So basically the sieves are a combination of wire, different wires. So how is sieve number assigned? So it is the number of squares or meshes in a length of about 25.4 millimeters, that is 1 inch in each direction. That is, in this square, if you can move in any direction up to a distance of or up to a measure of 25.4 millimeters or 1 inch, the number of squares or the number of screens or the number of meshes which will appear will be designated as the sieve number. That is, for the sieve number 10 will imply that it will have 10 squares in a particular area of about 1 inch, and that 1 inch you can travel in either directions. Okay, so just thus a 10 number of sieve has 10 meshes per inch in each direction, but it must be realized that if there were 10 wires, then there should be 9 meshes only. So that's how the sieve number is been assigned, and it is a classic example that according to British standard, altogether all over the world, this is the standard and this is how a sieve number is being designated. Standards of sieves. So it is required that the wire mesh sieves shall be made from uniform circular cross section, and each sieve the following particulars are stated, because when you are using a particular sieve, along with the sieve number, a number of other particulars must also be designated. The first one of them is the nominal aperture. So nominal size aperture, what is that? This is the distance between the wires so that it represents the length of the side of the square aperture. So length of the side aperture, it's such a represented as the nominal size aperture. Now come to nominal diameter of the wire. What is nominal diameter of the wire? The wire diameter is selected to give a suitable aperture size. It is also required to give the necessary strength to avoid any sort of distortion or deformity during the sieve analysis process. The diameter of the wire is generally represented, or it is being generally calculated by standard wire gauges. So some other parameters which is also to be considered during sieve analysis, or when we specify the details about particular sieve. So approximate skin area. This standard expresses the area of the meshes as a percentage of the total area of the sieve, and it is governed by the diameter of the wire, definitely, because the sieves are made up of, definitely maximum of the sieves are made up of wires, single wires, so it is also governed by the diameter of the wire. It is generally kept within 35% to 45% of the total area of the sieve. So how come it is calculated? Approximate screen area is calculated as total sieve area minus the area occupied by the wire divided by total area of the screen into percentage. So approximate screen area is designated as the total sieve area minus the area occupied by the wire divided by the total area of the screen into 100%. So this represents the useful area of a sieve. Greater screen area is generally preferred. So if there is not a wire mesh, we can also use some plate, and there should be certain perforations in those plates. So look at the diagram. This is a diagram of a perforated sleeve, perforated plate, which can be also designated as a sieve, provided it is made up of corrosion free materials, and these three particular openings will be designated or will come inside a particular triangle shaped area, and it is to be measured. That particular gap between the holes must be there. So sieves can be made by drilling holes in metal plates, and these sieves can be used in the larger sizes with greater accuracy than the wire mesh sieves, with being less susceptible to distortion. The meshes or the screens, which is generally made up of wires, sometimes they cannot obtain that heavy load, and for that purpose sometimes these plates or these perforated plates can also be made as sieves. These sieves have circular aperture against square aperture in the wire meshes. So these are circular apertures in terms of in place of the mesh or the square apertures like the conventional sieves which we generally use. So the materials which are used generally for the preparation of the sieves, they include tin plated or tin coated or stannous coated iron wares, copper, stainless steel, and certain important non-metal fibers. The uniform wares, it should be uniform circular cross section with suitable strength, and that is a very important vital point, that is it must be corrosion resistant. Let us come to a very important part, that is the sieve analysis of pharmaceutical powders, which you have probably you have done. So sieve analysis, in which the particles is passed by a mechanical shaking process through a series of sieves. So the sieves can be arranged like this in a particular fashion. That is a large mesh screen, maybe the sieve number screen at the top and the very fine mesh screen at the utmost bottom, and this is the sieve shaker machine with which we generally do the sieve shaking process or the sieve analysis process. So sieving, in which particles are passed by mechanical shaking through a series of sieves, it is known as successively smaller size, and the proportion of powder passing through or being withheld on each sieve is determined, that is we get a range of the powder. We cannot exactly, by sieve analysis, we cannot exactly determine what is the particular volume or what is the particular particle size of that particular particle of a huge volume of powder, but we can designate or we can determine a particular size range to get a uniform particle size distribution, which is quite important enough for working with pharmaceutical powders. So this is the basic process, that you have to prepare a sample, that is you have to obtain a powder sample, we have to get a particular powder sample, you have to arrange the sieves in descending order from the largest opening to the smallest. So if we are doing a sieve analysis with a range of sieve number 10 up to sieve number 120, so sieve number 10 will be at the top and sieve number 120 will be at the bottom. So this will be the range. It is arranged in the descending order with the largest opening to the smallest to the top, and the smallest opening to at the utmost bottom. Next, pour the powder sample on the top sieve. Shake the sieves using mechanical stirrer, as in case of a sieve shaker machine, which is done mechanically, the shaking process, and or it can also be done in a laboratory scale by hand checking also. Next, we have to weigh the powders which is retained. If it is retained, if a portion of the powder, that all will obviously depend on the powder sample. If the powder sample is retained on each and every sieve, we have to weigh that powder mass retained on the each sieve. Next, we have to calculate the percentage weight retained. Yes, the percentage weight retained is also calculated. Next, we have to calculate the cumulative percentage weight retained. Next, we have to calculate the the percentage passed. Yes, we have from the analysis we have first we have to take what is the weight of the mass retained, then the percentage weight retained, then the cumulative percentage retained, then the percentage passed. Next, we have to plot a graph, and that's from those sieve analysis graphs we can determine the particular size range of that particular given volume of the powder, and this is how the chart is being designated. Like for example, maybe sieve size, then sieve size aperture which is given in different standard pharmacopoeia and given in millimeters according to the different sieve numbers. So these are sieve number 4, 8, 16, 30, 50, 100, 200. So in that proportion the sieve size or the diameter of that particular aperture is also being given in millimeters. Next, the weight retained in grams, the weight percentage individual retained in percentage, the cumulative passing percentage and the cumulative retained percentage. So from this exercise, from this sieve analysis process, finally we can conclude the fineness of the powder module, and sieve analysis is an important or routinely followed process for working with different types or different grades of pharmaceutical powders, as the pharmaceutical powders are not having uniform size and they are polydisperse in size.